Solving equations with fractional coefficients. So this means we're multiplying x by a fraction. So is there a fraction? Yes. What is the reciprocal? The reciprocal is when we flip the fraction. So the reciprocal of negative 4/5 is negative 5/4. Multiply it to both sides. So I draw my line, and I'm going to multiply by negative 5/4. So I'm going to go over here for a minute to show you why we do this. So when I multiply a fraction by its reciprocal, when I multiply straight across, negative 5 times negative 4 is positive 20. 4 times 5 is 20, and that gives us a 1. So the whole reason we do this is so that way we get a 1 here, which means 1 times x, which would just be x. So these cancel, and these cancel. And so now I'm just left with an x on this side, which is what we want. Then I multiply by the reciprocal on the other side. Now remember, every whole number has a 1 underneath. So negative 8 times negative 5 gives me positive 40. And 1 times 4 gives me 4. And now I have to simplify. So 40 divided by 4 is just 10. So x equals 10. Let's check. So if I plug in a 10 where my x was, I should get negative 8. So I'm going to put a 1 as my denominator. Negative 4 times negative 10 gives me negative 40. 5 times 1 gives me 5. Negative 40 divided by 5 gives me negative 8. So we know we got our answer correct, and x is 10 because x makes this statement true, in which whatever this is equals negative 8. So let's do B. So is there a fraction? Yup. What is the reciprocal? So we have 3 halves. So the opposite, or the flipped fraction, is 2/3. So I'm going to multiply by 2/3 on both sides of my equation. Put a 1 as our denominator to our whole number. And we know that these cancel and just leave an x on that side because the reciprocals, when you multiply them together, you get 1. Negative 6 times 2 gives me negative 12. 3 times 1 gives me 3. 12 divided by 3 gives me 4, and it's going to be negative because negative divided by a positive gives me a negative. So I get negative 4 equals x. So now let's check. So if I plug in a negative 4 where my x was, I should get negative 6 if I found the correct x. So I'm going to put 4 over 1, and now we're going to multiply. 3 times negative 4 gives me negative 12. 2 times 1 gives me 2. Negative 12 divided by 2 gives me negative 6, which is what it should equal if we did it correctly. So yes, I did that right. And so now you're going to do the try-its on your own. You're going to check your work, and then you will check your answers with mine.